We all get triggered sometimes. It's a normal but really difficult part of the human experience. And it's profoundly valuable and supportive to know how to nurture and support ourselves through those triggers. Instead of judging ourselves, repressing our feelings, numbing, or simply spiraling out, we can actually learn to work with our emotional triggers in ways that soothe the reactive parts of our brains, deepen our compassionate self-understanding, and even heal from the wounds from the past that are at the roots of our triggers. Welcome to Somatic Healing Meditations, the podcast that helps you regulate your nervous system, deepen your healing journey, and feel better in your body. I'm so happy you're here. Today's episode is part 1 in my 2-part series called Help, I'm Triggered. Today, I'm going to guide you through a havening exercise to calm down when triggered. This exercise is so powerful because it actually soothes the reactive parts of your emotional brain that get activated when emotional triggers come up for you. I consider this havening exercise excellent first aid for when you're actually feeling triggered and you really need something to soothe your mind, body, and emotions. And it only takes about 10 to 15 minutes, which if you've ever spiraled for hours or even days, you know is super quick. This exercise is incredibly effective even if you're at a 10 out of 10 of feeling distressed and triggered. And I like to use this exercise when things are just mildly triggering as well. In part 2 of my Help I'm Triggered series, which comes out next week, I'll be guiding you through an exercise to connect with and heal the roots of your triggers. Next week's exercise uses an amazing emotional processing technique called regenerating images in memory. And we'll use that so you can process the wounds from your past that mostly live in your subconscious and your body. That process is all about deepening your self-understanding and healing and rewiring wounds and unprocessed emotions from the past so they no longer feel so raw or so charged that they trigger you. So definitely tune in next week for that journey, but that's more for when you're not actively triggered and you just want to go deeper. Today's exercise is for when you're actively triggered and feeling distressed. And these are both really important and valuable steps in learning to calm and heal your triggers. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Karena with Hello Inner Light, and I'm a trauma-informed emotional healing coach who's here to help you heal the old emotional wounds, subconscious blocks, and self-sabotaging core beliefs that are holding you back from living a life of authenticity and joy. So if that's the kind of content you need more of in your life, please subscribe to this podcast and join me every Friday on this beautiful journey out of your head and into your more embodied and authentic self. So we're going to dive into the havening to calm down when triggered exercise in just a moment. But first, I just want to normalize being triggered. Everyone feels triggered sometimes. If you're triggered right now, just know that it's not because you're broken or weak or bad in any way. You haven't failed and you aren't alone. The truth about emotions is that they're automatic physiological phenomena that are hardwired into our bodies. Despite our culture minimizing, judging, and devaluing emotions, we all have them. At a basic level, they're a release of neurochemicals in our brains in response to something. These neurochemicals create a cascade of effects that impact all parts of us, our bodies, our minds, our perceptions, and more. And when we're emotionally triggered, this innate emotional system is reacting in an extra big way because a raw wound, threat, or trauma from the past is being activated in the present moment. And when these imprints from the past are activated, it can feel incredibly distressing or painful. But again, this happens to everyone sometimes. You're not broken, bad, or wrong. You just need to soothe those overreactive parts of your emotional brain. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. So let's dive into the havening to calm down when triggered exercise. So you're going to do havening touch for this entire exercise, and there are 3 ways that you can do havening touch. The first is to rub your palms together. So just rubbing your palms together with a pressure and a pace that feels soothing and good to you. You can also do the havening touch by rubbing down your upper arms. So just going down from shoulder to elbow, shoulder to elbow, shoulder to elbow, sort of like a moving hug. And the third way to do havening touch is that you can rub your palms or your fingertips on your face, cheeks, or forehead in whatever way feels good to you. So you're going to move between those three types of havening touch, the palms, down the upper arms, and the face, cheeks, or forehead in whatever way feels good to you. You're just going to intuitively move between those, but you're going to continue to do the havening touch for this entire exercise, because the havening touch has been shown to down-regulate your amygdala. It's been shown to actually soothe the deep parts of your emotional brain that are often overactive when you're feeling triggered. So doing the havening touch, just begin to feel what it feels like in your body right now. I know that it doesn't feel good, and in just a second, we're going to kind of distract you from these triggered feelings. But first, just take a minute to actually feel and acknowledge what it's like to be triggered or distressed in this moment right now. Where do you feel the distress or the trigger the most within or around you? Is it more on the right or the left? Or maybe it's right in the center, or maybe it's everywhere. Is it more deep or superficial? Or maybe both or neither? Is it moving or still? Hot or cold? What color is it? Does it have a shape or a texture? And maybe you don't have answers to all of those questions, and that's totally fine. You're just kind of tuning inward to what it feels like in your body. And as you notice all of these feelings in your body, go ahead and rate your level of distress on a 0 to 10 scale. So 0 is not distressed at all, 10 is completely maxed out with distress. And just rate what you're feeling right now on that 0 to 10 scale. And now we're going to begin to distract you from those feelings. Now that you've acknowledged them and felt them, continue to do the havening touch, and I'm going to slowly go through the alphabet from A to Z and just name an animal for every letter of the alphabet. Again, we're just doing this to distract your brain, so it doesn't really matter if you can think of 5 animals for each letter or 0 for some letters. There's no way to do this wrong. This is just an activity to get your mind on anything else besides the trigger. So again, naming an animal for every letter of the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Great job. Continuing to do the havening touch, we're going to continue to distract your brain. And remember, there's no way to do this wrong. You're not being graded. This isn't a performance. You're just doing these exercises, whether you do them right or wrong. You're just doing them to distract your brain. So now think of your full name and spell your full name backwards, starting at the very last letter of your last name to the first letter of your first name. Good. Continuing to do the havening touch. Now count backwards from 200 by fives. Maybe you'll make it all the way to 0. Maybe you'll even get into the negatives. Maybe you won't make it very far at all. But starting at 200, counting back by fives. And wrapping that up, continuing to do the havening touch, feeling the havening touch, taking a breath. And your imagination is just going to call forward a happy memory. Some happy memory from the past is just going to pop into your mind. And begin to bring that happy memory to mind more and more with all of your senses. So maybe you can notice the things that you see in that memory, the light, the air on your skin. Maybe there's a smell. Maybe there are things you can hear. You might notice how your posture was, or your breath was, or how your heart felt in this memory. And I'm going to slowly count from 1 to 10. And for every number, just state one of the sensations that you remember from this happy memory. Again, it can be anything that just brings you back into that moment, into that happy memory. So, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just really letting those 10 sensory things about that memory take you back into that memory in your imagination, letting you sort of relive it in a way as you do the havening touch. Great work. Now, continuing to do the havening touch, we're going to gently do some movements with our eyes. So gently take your eyes down and to the left. Just gently. You don't have to go to your maximum range of movement or force anything. And just take a breath. Bringing your eyes back to center, resting your eyes, and taking a breath while you continue to do the havening touch. Moving your eyes down and to the right, taking a breath. Bringing your eyes back to center and letting them rest. Continuing to do the havening touch. Now roll your eyes in 2 circles, up and to the right, twice. Letting your eyes rest in the center. Rolling your eyes up and to the left twice in 2 circles to the left. Letting them rest. Now, for just a few seconds, hum your favorite song, or maybe just hum along with the background music. Great. And now counting up from 1 to 5. And down from 5 to 1. Wonderful. So now we've been doing the havening touch and distracting your brain. So we're going to check in with that trigger again and see how it feels now. So continuing to do the havening touch, notice what it feels like in your body now. So recalling at the beginning, you noticed the location, the color, whether it was deep or superficial, moving or still. What looks different or feels different to you now? And where would you rate your distress level on the 0 to 10 scale now? And just breathing with that shift, really let your body feel that something has shifted within you. Something has shifted in your feelings, in your body, in your perception. Taking a few breaths and noticing that. And if your distress level is still really high, you can start this again and do the distractions again, or choose different distractions and go longer. But even if it just brought your distress level down a few points, that can be really, really significant. Life looks completely different when you're at a 6 out of 10 versus a 9 out of 10. So really just validate yourself for showing up, for doing this havening exercise for yourself, and really validating yourself for any shift you noticed, any change that occurred. And know that you can do this exercise anytime that you feel triggered or anytime that you're feeling really emotionally distressed. You can revisit this exercise. You can haven and soothe your amygdala, soothe your body, mind, and emotions. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you feel remarkably better and that the trigger has decreased in your experience. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling now. And if you enjoyed this, I would so appreciate it if you subscribe and rate and review this podcast. And don't forget to join me every Friday on this beautiful journey out of your head and into your more embodied and authentic self. Thanks for being here, and don't forget to join me next week for part 2 of the Help I'm Triggered series, where we're going to actually learn how to connect with and process the past wounds and unprocessed emotions that are at the root of your triggers.